Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 5. Let's start discussion. Okay. We'll start with sloka 1. My voice is low. Is for everyone? Is the voice low for everyone? In the chat, is the voice okay? Hare Krishna. Better now? Okay. Maybe I had some network issue. Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasam Karmanam Krishna Punaryogam Cha Samshasi Yashreya Etayo Ekam Tanme Vriddhi Sunishchitam. Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce work, and then again, you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? Work in devotional service is better than dry mental speculation. Devotional service is easier than the latter because being transcendental nature, it frees one from reaction, right? It is said, Susukam Kartamapi. Rajavidya Rajavusham Pavitram Nidamuttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartamapi. It's very easy to perform, right? Devotional service. So why do you say devotional service is very easy to perform? I'll unmute everyone. Why do you say it's easy? Susukam. Yes?
We can perform it in our home.
Yeah, you can perform just at being at home. You don't have to go to Himalayas or anywhere. Just Sane Stita Shukra Harvani. Just sit at home and chant Hare Krishna, right?
Still doing activities and offering result to Krishna.
Okay, yeah.
We don't have to renounce our physical activities.
Yeah, we don't have to renounce anything. We can use everything in Krishna service. So it's easy.
Offering attention.
We don't need to study all the Vedas.
Yes, just chant Hare Krishna. We don't have to study the Vedas. But it is also said to do devotional service. It's difficult. Why do you think so? It is easy, but then it's also difficult. Why do you say so? Why we say that devotional service is difficult?
We
need attachment to Krishna.
It's difficult because of the 4 regulative principles that strictly to be followed, and then the mind has to be totally under control. And when we do chanting, there should be a total mind connection to the chanting.
Okay, so Prabhu is saying about the mind connections. Okay, Charu Mataji.
Not easily people will take it up like Bahu, like Krishna said, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. It's like,
yes,
it will take years to really connect.
Good. Yeah. So when you come to Krishna's mercy, yes, it means a lot of Krishna's mercy. So it is easy to perform in the sense to do Nama Aparat. To chant in Nama Aparat is very easy. But to chant Shuddha Nam, it's difficult, right? To have pure devotional service, Anya Vilashita Shunya, without Jnana Mishrita Bhakti or Karma Mishrita Bhakti, to do pure devotional service, it's difficult. As we advance in devotional service, we know, oh, there's 10 aparat. Initially, we said you, Tatrarthida Neme, Dasmarane Nekal, there's no rules and regulations to chant, just chant. And as we chant, we know we are in Nama Aparat, there are 10 offenses to chant. In that, the most grievous offenses, the 10 offenses, which is the most dangerous offense, or you can raise your digital hand. Yes, Shreya Mataji.
Chanting inattentively.
Very good. Inattentive chanting, right? So we almost all are doing inattentive chanting all the time. Almost. Right? Might be some rounds we are so attentive. So inattentive chanting. So initially we were told just to chant Hare Krishna. We chant Hare Krishna. But as we advance, we know inattentive chanting is the most dangerous and most grievous offense. And Vaishnava Parat and that and this. And then we're like, oh, it's difficult to chant Shuddha Nam. So in that way, it's difficult. But yes, Vaishnava Parat is also there. So, but then initially it's easy. Shri Bhagavan Vaja Sannyasa Karmanam Yo Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhav Tayostu Karma Sannyasa Karma Yogo Vishishyate. Personal yoga reply, the renunciation of work and work of devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, working devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Why do we say so? You can just renounce the work, no? Why he is saying that devotional service is better than renouncing the work? Renounce the work is also called Nishkama Karma Yoga, right? You are giving up the fruits of the results. But why do you think Nishkama Akarma is better than Nishkama Karma Yoga? Charu Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, like in chapter 3, Krishna said, mere renunciation will not be helpful. It will just lead to Mityachari.
Yes, so good. So definitely. So yes, Prakash Parekh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Either karma or jnana cannot lead to a liberation very easily. It's an extensive process. Whereas devotional service is a simple and straightforward process which leads you to complete realization and even going to the Lord, so to speak.
Yes, what do you like to say, Deval Mataji?
Yes, the last point which Prabhuji made, that there is no connection to God in just mere renunciation of work, but devotional service would actually establish the relationship.
Yes, so definitely devotional service is the best. Yes, Dinesh Prabhu.
Mataji, it is not related to loving devotional service to the other services are related to liberation to the extent merging into the effulgence only. So they don't realize the personal feature of Lord Krishna.
Yes.
That is why.
Good. So that's a personal relationship with Krishna by devotional service and renunciation of work. Yes, there might be some attachment, and sometimes it goes to a Palgu Vairagya or like as Mataji said, some kind of an imitating things, right? Savai pumso paro dharmo yado bhaktir adhukshije ahituki apradhyata yayatma suprasidati. This satisfies the self. This is the real answer. If you do devotional service, it gives you self-satisfaction. The supreme occupation or dharma of all the humanity is that which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Ahituki apradhyata. Unmotivated means there should not be any motive behind your chanting. Like, I need a nice job, I need to pass this exam, I need to get married. No, these are all material things. That should not be your motive to chant Hare Krishna. There should not be any motive. The only motive should be to please the Lord and uninterrupted. It's not like today you chant, tomorrow you don't chant. No, it should be uninterrupted. So then, Yahatma Suprasidhi, it satisfies the self. This is one of the reasons why devotional service is most important. We have a breakout room. Read the 5.2 verse and purport and discuss the significant statements. Okay, so this will be the breakout room here. So you need to read through the verse and the purport, and you need to, so just to take 2 minutes so that all of you read the purport and then you discuss the significant statements. Got the question? Okay, so we just have a quick 10 minutes breakout room and then come back. So for 5.2, okay, all of you have the book, at least the Veda base with you, and start reading the verse and the purport, and then significant points, only the significant statements you take up. Hare Krishna, those in the main room, please go to the breakout room. Alka Mataji, Dinesh Prabhu, Puja Kunda Mataji, Alka Mataji, Sachinanda Das Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dinesh Prabhu, Alka Mataji. join the breakout room.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, so all are back from the room. Some devotees didn't join the room. I don't know why. I could see Dinesh Prabhu and there are any issues?
Yes,
Okay.
Mataji, I joined with a mobile, not laptop.
Oh, those from row number 1 have not joined yet. They're coming back. Okay. Yeah, now they're back. Yes, so room number 1, Deval Mata, Shalu Mata, Kishore Prabhu, and Kumar Prabhu. Share. What did you discuss? You can unmute. Room number 1.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We had a good discussion.
Yeah, Charu
From the discussion, what we gathered is just the knowledge, that jnana, that I'm not this body, I'm the soul, that is not going to liberate, because what are we trying to renunciate when it is not ours? It's just a Falgu Vairagya. But if we are acting with Krishna consciousness, that everything belongs to Lord, every property belongs to Lord, and using everything at Krishna's service, that will be more beneficial. And that is why we have to choose devotional work in devotional service.
Because that will cleanse and purify our heart. Merely renunciation won't purify or cleanse our heart. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. So what about room number 2? Halka Mataji, Anita Mataji, Kadambari Mataji, Neeraja Mataji, Rekha Mataji. Did Rekha Mataji join the room? I did not see her. Okay. Room number 2. Who's going to speak?
Mataji, we discussed the same points as of the room 1, Mataji.
Yeah.
And just I would like to tell that with full Krishna consciousness only we can attain the spiritual platform. Just renunciating the fruitive activities will not help. So actually, automatically the Krishna conscious platform means there is no room for fruitive activities.
Yes.
And we have to always think that nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to Krishna, and we should not claim any right over the properties. So whatever is there, everything is Krishna's. In that mind only, we have to do our service, Mataji.
Yes. Is Alka Mataji?
No, Mataji, this much only.
Yeah. Discuss that. Same room. Okay. Room number 3. Prakash Pare Prabhu, Priyadarshini Mataji, Puja Vrinda Mataji, Shreya Mataji, and Suprema Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
We all discussed and all participated very well. Krishna in this, and I was asked to represent. Krishna actually is answering that devotional service is better than renunciation of the work. If we look at the purport of Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ji, primitive activities ultimately keep us in a condition as a conditioned soul, and we keep coming as in the birth and death in a repeated cycle. Even if we do nishkam karma only, and we do not like to have the fruits, still it doesn't lead us to liberation. So we must have a jnana, and that knowledge is very important, that the soul, we are soul and not the body. But that jnana also cannot lead us to a liberation. So one has to then do the action, but all your actions should be in a Krishna consciousness. That is, that you do all your actions for the gratification and service to the Krishna. Once you do that, then you gradually go into, this is part of the devotional service, and that can lead you to ultimately association with Krishna and your liberation. Or if you like to go further, you can even achieve the lotus feet of Lord Krishna also. So it is kind of a yukta vairagya, that anything and everything that has been used for the service of Lord Krishna is a true renunciation. So you should include that, and not a falgu vairagya, where without knowing anything, you just renounce everything. And that's why devotional service is much better than even renunciation of the work. Hare Krishna Mata.
Very nice. Yes, very good discussion. Okay, room number 4, the last room.
Mataji, one more thing.
Mataji, yes.
There's no question of renunciation when nothing belongs to us. When all belongs to Almighty, there's no question of renouncing anything.
Yes. So like that's what Prabhupada says. What are you renouncing? Something should be yours to renounce. We don't have anything. Ishavasya midam sarvam. Everything belongs to the Lord. So even this body belongs to the Lord. He gave this. So it can be used in His service. So what are we renouncing, right? So whatever the yogis are trying to renounce, it's actually artificial renouncement. There's not like true renouncement. Something should be yours to renounce. Nothing is yours. Everything is like temporarily given to you by Krishna. So why don't you use it in Krishna service? That's the real service. Yes, room number 4, Aravind Prabhu, Nima Mataji, Sachinandan Prabhu, Shri Devi Mataji, Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, we all from room number 4 we all discussed and made a 7-pointer summary. which goes as the point one is this birth is due to our past life actions. The second one is sense gratification is not good since it binds us with the material things. The third one is one must develop love for devotional service to Vasudeva. The fourth one is we need to purify our heart through Krishna consciousness activities. The fifth one is Krishna consciousness activities purify the soul. And this is the only way possible that soul does not return to this material world.
Yes.
Sixth one is everything belongs to Krishna, and so we should not think ourselves as the proprietor of any material belongings. And the last 7th point is action in Krishna consciousness is better than artificial renunciation. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Hare Krishna, can I tell something?
Yes, Mataji.
Actually, the main fault means drawback in renunciation is the mental desires are not yet finished. That's why Vishwamitra and all has fall down now after seeing Manaka and all. So that is artificial renunciation. So in while we are working in Krishna consciousness, actually everything is for Krishna. That's why material desires will never exist and we will never fall down. So in artificial renunciation, there is a chance of falling down.
Yes, very nice. Okay, so yes, artificial renunciation, definitely there's fall down. So there's no, the renunciation itself is artificial, but then in that, if you categorize, it is kind of an artificial thing what we are renunciating. Yes, Dinesh Prabhu?
Mataji, in fact, one must understand the real identity, and real identity is our relationship with Krishna or Super Soul, that is Vijnana state. But Mayavadis and renunciates, they are limited up to the realization of superficial realization of or merging into the soul only. That is their access is up to Gyan only, not Vijnana. And devotional service gives an avenue, opportunity to Vijnana or relationship, realizing relationship with the Krishna and never seek for liberation. Whereas Mayavadis and others who are just renunciates, they are limited to just attaining knowledge only, which is also incomplete.
Good. Okay. Nice. So that's about, we understood why devotional service is better than renunciation. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcome material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. So renunciation should be for what? To the fruits of his activities, right? So fruits of the activity should be renounced. So our material desires have to be renounced. Then we are completely liberated. So liberation doesn't mean only after death to come out of this birth, death, old age, disease. Liberation also means that in this material body itself, to be free from all material desires. No, so that's for the pure devotees, how they are. So Krishna in the purport Prabhupada writes, Krishna is whole and he is and we are part and parcel of Krishna, right? So that is Purnamadam, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachite, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva, Vishishya. Krishna is whole and we are part and parcel of God. And liberated means even in this material world, great souls like Srila Prabhupada was already liberated, even in this material world. Even though he was living in the material world, he was already liberated, like Prahlad Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami. In a sense, their consciousness was so high, they were in the Vasudeva platform. Sankhya Yoga Pradathala Pravadandina Panditaha Ekam Api Asita Samya Upayor Vindate Phalam. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service. Karma Yoga as being different from the analytic study of the material world. Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieve the results of one process is to find the root of the tree, and another is to water the root. Can someone explain Sambandha, Avideya, and Prayojana? What are these? Do you ever hear about these terms? Sambandha, Avideya, and Prayojana. What are these? Yeah, Sridevi Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sambandha means like to know what is our eternal relationship with the Krishna. Avideya means how to achieve it, and Prayojana is like a goal.
Yes. Good. So it is said Krishna Sambandha, Bhakti Avideya and Prema Prayojana. Krishna Sambandha. Since what is our relationship with Krishna? Right? We are part and parcel of Krishna. So that's to know Krishna Sambandha. What's our relationship? Avideya is Bhakti Avideya, the process, how we can re-establish the Lord's relationship with Krishna is Avideya, the process, Bhakti. And Prema Prayojana, the goal of this process of devotional service is Prema, Krishna Prema, or the love of Godhead. So these are the three processes we are in. So we understood our Sambandha through Bhagavad Gita and all that. Then now we are doing the Avideya. Now we are yet to reach the goal called Prayojana, the Prema, that Prema Pumato Mahan. Yet Sanke Prapyate Stanam Tatyogir Apikamyate Ekam Shankyam Chayokam Cha Yapashati Sapashyati. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytic study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytic study and devotional service to be the same level, sees things as they are. So the ultimate goal of life is self-realization. So analytic study is the Sankhya philosophy, nothing but to know that the matter and spirit, to know the difference between matter and spirit, and that's almost same as devotional service. In devotional service also we know that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and we can differentiate matter from spirit. So there is almost in the same level. And who explained this Sankhya philosophy? Can you put in the chat? Who gave the Sankhya philosophy to us in detail? Who gave a clue? It's in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, it's Kapila Dev, right? Yes. So Kapila is again Lord's incarnation, right? He's the incarnation of the Lord, born to Karda Muni and Devahuti. So he started explaining the Sankhya philosophy to his mother. The ultimate goal of life is self-realization. That's the real goal of life. So Brahma Jignasa. Living entity is not, it's not a part and parcel of the material world, but we are part and parcel of the supreme spirit whole. So that's what our famous personality have said, that we are not human beings with spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings with human experience. No? That means a lot. Sankhya sastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogyataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirenati gacchati. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So this is what we discussed in the breakout room. Just renouncing activities, not engaging in devotional service will not make you happy. Because the happiness which you're getting is from the body or the mind. You renounce everything, Om Shanti, you get a lot of peace. But that's temporary again, right? You hear some news of some earthquake, something happening, your mind is again disturbed. Where is the peace now, right? But then if you're engaged in devotional service, then you're really happy. Everything is Krishna's plan, you know, everything is Krishna's mercy. And the soul becomes happy. So what is the difference between Vaishnav Sannyasi and Mayavadi Sannyasis? Is there any difference? Does anyone know the difference? Yes, Charumataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vaishnava Sannyasi always try to do this Yukta Vairagya. I mean, they are always engaged in devotional service and they always. But Mayavadi Sannyasa, it's like Falgu Vairagya. It's like artificial renunciation. And they might also fall down because they don't understand the complete picture of this concept, renunciation and liberation.
Okay, good. And here in the chat, Kadambari Mataji says, Vaishnava Sannyasis do devotional service. Good. Because for Mayavadis, they don't believe in the form of the Lord. They don't believe in the qualities or pastimes of the Lord, definitely. So they don't do any devotional services. And yeah, so who was a Vaishnava who took sannyas from a Mayavadi? Does anyone know who that was? Yes, Shreya Mataji.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Very good, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He was a Vaishnava. Is there any difference in the danda which they carry? Vaishnava Sannyasis and Mayavadi Sannyasis. What is the difference? Pujavrinda Devi Udasi Mataji, you know?
Vaishnava, they carry 3 rods.
Yes.
Mayavadi only 1 rod.
Very good. Yeah. So Tridandi Sannyasi, they are called Vaishnavas. So what are the 3 sticks referring to? Your mind, body, and words. Right?
Word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So for Mayavadis, everything is one. I am God, you are God, everyone is God. So for Mayavadis is Ekadanda Sannyasi, and Vaishnavas are Tridandi. That means their body, mind, and words are dedicated in Krishna service. So what happened to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He took sannyas from a Mayavadi sannyasi called Keshav Bharati. Why? That's just a pastime, so that he can convert so many Mayavadis to become devotees. And he wanted to go in the among the Mayavadis, right? So what happened? Nityananda Prabhu broke that sannyasa dhanda, and then he told that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't need it, and he is Krishna himself, right? So that's the difference between them. Yes, BMW, that's a mind, body, and words dedicated to Krishna. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvat apina lipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Okay, he's pure and he works in devotion, controls his mind and senses. So, as you all said, Cheto Tarpanamarjanam, as we are chanting, what happens? Our mind becomes purified. One who works in Krishna consciousness, the servant to all. He's very dear to everyone. Mind should be always fixed on Krishna, and there is no chance of being deviated from Krishna. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeda tattvavid pashyan shriman sprishan jikran asan kachan swapan swasan pralapan vishwajan gharanan nimishan api indriya teshu vartanda idu tharayat. A person in divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually do nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, and opening and closing his eyes, we always know that only the material senses are engaged with the objects, and he is aloof from them. So that means, who is the actual doer? There are three doers. No, we are not the doers. We think we are the doers, but who are the actual doers? Gita explains the three doers. Who are the three doers? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Jiva, Ishvara, and Prakriti.
Very good. So the Jiva desires, right? And Ishvara sanctions it, and the three modes makes it happen or carries it out. So that means we are not the only doer. Krishna has to sanction, and the three modes have to carry it out. Right? That's right. In Krishna consciousness, senses are engaged in the satisfaction of Krishna senses. This is called love. Krishnendriya Triptivanja Tarana Prem. Atmendriya Triptivanja Tarana Kam. So what we are doing is sense gratification. But when we occupy in Krishna service is called Prem or love. Right? So the three doers are there. So we are actually aloof from everything. We are desiring it. Krishna is the witness as Paramatma. Madhya says, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tattaratvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchiri. This is also a verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.12. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality Godhead, the Master of all senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is we become free from material designation, and next is we purify our senses simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. So, Sarvo Upadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirma. Two things will happen. All material designations goes away, and Tat Paratvena Nirma, you become purified. When you engage your senses in serving the master of senses. This is what we are doing now. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana, right? When you are chanting, we are occupying our tongue and ears in hearing the holy name, tongue in chanting the holy name. And then when you hear Bhagavad Gita, your senses are getting involved. And more and more get purified. Brahmani adhyaya karmani sangam tyakva karoti ya divyadena sapapena padma patram ivambasha. Padma patram ivambasha. That means how a lotus leaf is so detached from the water. That should be the detachment that's given. So that's for pure devotee. It's not easy. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. So everything is related to the Supreme Brahman or Krishna, because everything belongs to him only. Right? So the water is not getting attached to the lotus leaf. It always is detached. So that's how we should work, or that's how we should practice devotional service. Only attached to Krishna, not getting attached to anything else. Right? All these material things and everything. So that, what is another example for detachment? Can you give another example, like a lotus leaf untouched by water? Is there any other example, you know, to describe such renounced order? Yes, Prabhu?
Tortoise retracting all his legs. Tortoise retracting all his legs inside the shell.
The tortoise withdrawing all the senses to the shell, but that is kind of a withdrawing the senses, right? Yes, it's also kind of a detachment, but something to prove this kind of detachment. Yes, Sridevi Matsu.
Coconut gets detached when it becomes cold. Coconut, Mataji, coconut, it gets detached.
The coconut shell. So when it said that when a dry coconut becomes dry, what happens? It becomes completely separated from the shell, right? So, and then you just have to break open the shell and the coconut is out. It's dry, but if it's in the younger stage, the tender stage, what happens? You need to grate the coconut out from the shell because it's so attached. So it said, as we become mature in devotional service or become ripe, that's how we become. Like a mango, first it's green, it's unripe. Then it after some time, what happens? It keeps ripening. It becomes so yellow. That means it's the most ripened fruit. So that's like anantamadikari. So initially, but what the mango has to do is just to stay on that tree. In the sense, we need to stay in Krishna consciousness, and slowly the mature state will come. So it's not easy. Coconut doesn't become a dried one immediately. No, it has to go through the different stages: the tender coconut stage, then the normal coconut, and then slowly, as the days pass away, and then it becomes dry. So similarly, we can't just become renounced like that, like a coconut. First, we'll get attached. There is attachment. Slowly, as you are doing devotional service, what happens? Slowly, the detachment will come, and finally, we can completely get renounced from all the material attachments. And here it is said that everything belongs to the Lord, right? We should accept everything belongs to the Lord. That's what the Ishavasya principle is. That says, Ishavasya sarvam. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat everything, animate or inanimate, that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only these things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. Actually, it is said in every grain, the person who is supposed to consume it is written. Since everyone has its own share, we should not try to trespass and then get someone else. Then it becomes a lot of karma involves, right? So, but we should know that everything belongs to the Lord. Ishavasya, everything is his. Kayena manasa putya kevala indriyatapi yogina karma kurvanti sankam tekvatma shuddhe. The yogi is abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with senses, only for the purpose of purification. So the yogis use their senses for purifying their all the desires. There are no material reactions resulting from the activities of Krishna conscious person. And he applies everything produced by the body, mind, intelligence, and words, life, and wealth, etc. Whatever he has within his possession to Krishna service. So we can use our body in Krishna service, definitely, right? With your body itself, I mean, with the hands, you cook yoga, then you pay obeisances to the Lord. And the mind, you can always savai mana Krishna padara when they think of the Lord. Intelligence, the Krishna conscious activities, preaching, book distribution, everything comes in the intelligence of studying the Shastra, Swadhyay. The words, you can glorify the Lord, you can chant. The whole life is getting surrendered. So some devotees completely, they surrender to the Lord. The wealth can be used in Krishna service. So everything can be used in Krishna service. Yes. So how Ambarish Maharaj did Savai Mana Krishna Aravindu. So how his mind was completely engaged in Krishna service. Right? So when we chant Hare Krishna, when we do devotional service, even our mind gets forced. Initially we need to force it. And then we can also do Yukta Vairagya. That's what Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says. Anasakyasya Vishaya Yadatam Upayamchate Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Uchyate. It's accepting everything in relationship with Krishna. That's Yukta Vairagya. The laptop can be used to teach Bhagavad Gita, hear Bhagavatam, right? A mobile phone can be used to read Veda base. I mean, so that it means what? Even that is used in Krishna service. Sometimes they see, the renounced people, the yogis, they just walk with one cloth and then with one kamandalu, and so renounced, they are so renounced. But then they see the Krishna conscious person, the ISKCON, especially ISKCON people, using big car for preaching and taking flights to go to different countries to preach, and also using different gadgets. What? It's been used in Krishna service. So what's wrong in it? No, it's not for your sense gratification. It's being used like Srila Prabhupada used everything in Krishna service. That's the best way to do it. Otherwise, it becomes just Falgu Vairagya. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta kama karena phale shakto nibatyate. The steady devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of the activities to Krishna. Whereas a person who's not in the union with divine, who's greedy for the fruits of his labor, become entangled. A person who's attached to Krishna works for him only, is certainly a liberated soul. Activities in Krishna consciousness is in the absolute plane. So activities, anything in the done in Krishna consciousness is in the Shuddha Sattva platform, right? And a person who's attached to Krishna work for him only, and he's a liberated person, right? He don't have to ask for anything else because he knows everything belongs to Krishna, and he's not greedy for the fruit of his labor. We become greedy for the fruits, we become entangled. Again, there is karma coming. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasaste sukhambasi navadware pure dehi naivam kurvana karaya. And the embodied living beings control his nature and mentally renounces all actions. He resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. So this is another Bhakti Shastri question. The 9 gates of the body, what are they? Any idea? Yeah, Neeraja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, mouth, 2 ears, genitals, and rectum.
Yes. So these are the 9 gates. So for it said for the yogi, he can control the senses, and through his breathing techniques and pranayam, he controls the soul here, and through this part of the head, the soul leaves the body, right? But for a devotee, it doesn't matter where he leaves the body, at what time he leaves the body, because he is always thinking of the Lord. And what happens if we doesn't think of the Lord? Just imagine you're leaving your body in a deep sleep or an accident. Then what happens? Yes, Dinesh Prabhu.
Mataji,
I think you have 2 devices. Can you unmute mute the other one?
Yes, Mataji. If one leaves body, but has been in devotional service, then Krishna remembers that he still gets a second chance to be born in a aristocratic family or a pious family, Brahmin family, to complete his sadhana.
Yes. So that means Krishna will remember that person or devotee who could not remember him, right? Yeah, Lord will give us the remembrance. Yes. So Krishna will give the remembrance. Krishna says. That's true. Krishna gives the remembrance. But if you can't remember Krishna, then if you have done nice devotional service, Krishna will remember you. So that's what is very important. That Krishna remembering you is very important. Okay. So detachment from material events. One who understands that he is not the material body or senses is not concerned with their satisfaction. We appreciate that he has no direct control over material phenomena, so attachment to them is useless. He's too busy serving the Lord in blissful Krishna consciousness to take them and remain self-gratification. So surrender to Supersoul. Devotionally, he fixes his consciousness, mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge on Supersoul, and thus one gets fully cleansed of misgiving through complete knowledge and attains liberation. So first is detachment from material events and attachment to Krishna. Then only it happens. First you should, so which one works first? Should we get detached to the material things first and then get attached to Krishna? Or is it attachment to Krishna and then detachment? How does it work?
Hare Krishna Mataji. First, we have to get attachment to Krishna Mataji, keeping in mind that what all we have, the material things, is used only for Krishna purpose.
But if you want to get attached to Krishna, you should get detached from material things, no?
But if we use for the purpose of Krishna, that can be converted as the Krishna
But that
conscious.
initially it doesn't come. Initially, Vairagava doesn't come at all. It comes slowly. Yes, Priyadarshini Mataji.
We have to give up our material desires and get away from material entanglement. Then automatically we develop devotion.
That easy? That's not easy, Mataji. Initially, like neophyte devotees have a lot of attachment to material things, and suddenly giving up everything. It's not easy.
But along with the devotional service, Mataji, it's possible, Mataji.
But not initially. No, I'm asking initially. What should we do? Initially. Yes, slowly, yes, that will come. But then initially, is it possible, Supriya Mataji?
Mataji, initially it is not possible because the mind has to be attached to something and it cannot be stayed empty. And hence, first it has to be detached. And when the mind is empty, then it goes to the attachment.
But how is that detachment coming? First, you are telling it should get detached. But suddenly it will come, the detachment will come suddenly.
No, Mataji, only once we start the initial first step of the devotional service, then automatically the detachment happens and the inclination towards the devotional service begins.
Yeah, so that means, as Prabhu said, who's this? Give the right answer. Kumar Prabhu says, simultaneously. Good. It happens simultaneously. There is attachment to Krishna. So when you came to the level 1 course, you heard about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that small attachment starts. Then what happens? You are giving up, you just imagine you are watching a serial or something every day, and the 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. is your class Bhagavad Gita. So what happens? You have registered for the Bhagavad Gita class, and slowly you'll give up your serials and you don't watch that. In that time, you come and attend the Bhagavad Gita class. So it's happening simultaneously. You're getting like Guru Krishna Kripai Pai Bhakti Labda Beach. It says Guru gives you Krishna, Krishna gives you Guru. It happens simultaneously. Not like Krishna gives you the Guru first and then Guru gives you Krishna. No, it happens simultaneously. Krishna blesses you, you get the Guru. Guru blesses you, get Krishna. So it goes hand in hand. Similarly, first there is small attachment towards learning Bhagavad Gita. So first that small attachment comes. Simultaneously, detachment also will start. So you take one step towards Krishna and then you take one step away from Maya. So it's like that. You take more and more, you become closer to Krishna, more and more you're becoming away from Maya. So it goes hand in hand. Not like completely you become detached, then you become attached. No. So it happens simultaneously. There is small detachment coming from material things and then attachment towards Krishna. And as Mataji said, yes, as we do devotional service, the attachment keeps on increasing and detachment keeps on increasing. So it's like that. Okay. So once we reach to the complete stage, then we are completely attached to Krishna and complete detachment will happen. Yes, Mataji? Okay.
Mataji, I was about to say the same thing. Both have to happen at the same time. Yeah.
Yes. And then once
the ruchi, taste has to develop towards devotional service. Then taste has to be develaped.
Yeah,
special taste.
Yeah, but in that taste, ruchi, if you say in different stages, Shraddha, Sadhasanga, Bhajna, Nishta, ruchi, then Asakti, Bhava, Prema. So that ruchi is still high. But initially, as you said, there should be some Atnyada Sukritis or some mercy by the Vaishnavas, something that Krishna gave us that little taste so as to get registered to the course and continue the course. No, it's not easy. Then slowly, the detachment simultaneously it happens. And by someone put in the chat, yes, by devotees.
Association with devotees, Mataji.
Yes, association. Association will help you so much that because you seeing devotees nicely chanting, you see devotees practicing devotion service nicely, you also get inspired not to do more. So that is sadhu sangha is very, very essential so as to have so much attachment to Krishna and detached from material things. Yes, that's a very important factor to take you towards to Krishna. Yes, Dinesh Prabhu.
The same thing, Mataji. One has to have faith and then association of
Yes.
pious persons or devotees, pious devotees, then only we can progress. Then that naturally process leads to detachment from material entanglements at the same time, Father. This is
Yes.
what
So
I meant to say.
yes. Yes. Hare Krishna. Okay, so can we stop here? It's 5:13. We'll take tomorrow. Okay, starting the section 5:13. We'll take next week. Yes, Prakash Parekh Prabhu.
You very well said it. I just wanted to add one thing. When we say, for an example, start with 4 regulatory principles, we are actually attaching, but at the same time detaching from all the restrictions.
Yes, that's a nice point to add. Yes, Charu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I didn't understand this last part of 5.13.
At 5:13 we'll take next week.
Okay.
I'll just stop there so that we can. And then I need to give you the open book question for chapter 4. Na? I was traveling this week and I was just out of. Okay. Yes. Dinesh Prabhu.
Mataji, about the 3 doers, the one is the living entity, the other is his knowledge of 3 modes of material nature, and ultimately third doer is the super soul, which permits. Is that not true?
Which one? Third one is?
Living entity. Second is material mode of nature, and third is the super soul.
Third is the super soul. Yes.
Yes,
Prabhuji, it is Jiva, Ishvara, and Prakriti.
Yeah, Jiva, Ishvara, and Prakriti. Jiva, that is the soul, desires, and Ishvara sanctions it, or Krishna, and that's super soul, and the material nature, the 3 modes of material nature carries it out. It's like
perhaps the similar names have been used in English in ISKCON Desire Tree. In one of the discourses, Prabhupada has mentioned about the 3 doers. They are living entity, the knowledge of living entity in the form of 3 modes of material nature, and third is the super soul, Mataji. So probably it has the same meaning, Jiva, Prakriti, and Ishvara.
Yeah, Jiva, Prakriti, and Ishvara. See, Bhagavad Gita talks about 5 things: Ishvara, Kala, Jiva, Prakriti, and Karma.
Yes,
so in that, Ishvara, Jiva, and Prakriti, these 3 things are the real doers. And Kala and Karma, definitely Kala is Krishna, the time, and then the Karma, the activities which we do. So these are the real doers, these 3. And there is a diagram also which says that someone is sanctioning, but Jiva desired it, right? So we are responsible for all the reactions of our karma. Like one of my friend met, and then there were so many reversals happening in life. So finally that person was like, I don't believe in Lord. Why? Because so many reversals. But then they don't realize that it's their karma coming back. They are suffering, it's not because of Krishna, right? They say that Krishna is impartial. Why Krishna is making me suffer and not others? Because you did bad karma in your previous life, right? You led a sinful life. You had a minute independence and you misused it, right? So when you misuse it, what happens? The reaction comes to you. So how can you blame the Lord? Because in that 3 doers, it's Jiva who desired it. We desired, and then Krishna sanctions it. But Krishna sanctions even negative things, right?
Because partial freedom is given.
Yeah. So
liberty, partial freedom is given.
Yeah, but when you misuse it, Krishna sanctions it. Why? I can unmute everyone. Why Krishna sanctions, even if it's a negative thing? You desired a negative thing, and why Krishna sanctions it? Krishna could have stopped it. No?
He's like a father, quite merciful.
He wants us to go through the thing what we have actually desired.
He doesn't want to
Parents always allow small mischiefs. When it goes beyond, then they always raise their hand.
Yeah, we are so adamant and we really want that to be done. And Krishna's like, okay, just go, but then learn from the mistake, right? Repent from the mistake which you did. So yes, in that way, Krishna is just a witness. He is just a witness. So if you want to live in Krishna consciousness, Krishna will mold your life in such a way that everything goes well for Krishna conscious life. But if you want to live without Krishna, then again, Krishna will mold your life in such a way that you never remember Krishna. So everything is done by the Lord, but then we have to have that small desire. So even negative things, yes, because Krishna is sanctioning, you're so adamant, and then Krishna wants you to learn a lesson. Even this material world is created for that only, so that we realize, we go back. Okay. So any questions, or can we stop here? I'll post the open book assessment tomorrow because I'll be traveling, and then once I'm back, I'll be posting it. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, or can we? Maybe the Chaitanya Charitamrita class is over.
I think Krishna permits because of our mode of material nature. That we have, Krishna permits our wrong actions also because that is based on our mode of material nature.
Yes.
That is why he permits everything, right or wrong. We do, he permits it because he doesn't interfere. Super soul does not interfere into, quiet observer only.
Yeah, Krishna is just a witness, like a sweet father. He's just a witness, and he's just seeing how much the jiva is. But then he's always with us, no? Whichever janma you go, Krishna is as Paramatma in coming to us and guiding us. But then you don't really listen to him sometimes. So because we think we are independent, we can take the decision. Okay, Hare Krishna. So can we end here then?
Yes,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.